everybody. We are Book Bliss and Chicks. I'm Ashley.
I'm Courtney.
And today we're going to be talking about our 2025 TBR list, which means
to be read.
Last episode we did our goals for 2025, so we'll just be talking about our list, our mysterious list that we kept hinting at last episode. We're going to tell you all about our shared TBR list because we do have books that we're going to read this year together, and then we're going to talk about our solo TBR list, which are books that we're going to just read by ourselves and eventually, talk about them with you guys every month. But this is our disclaimer for the episode. Just because it's ranked low on our list does not mean we're not enthusiastic or we don't want to read them. They're still on our list to be read. They're just not as high priority, or depending on what our emotions have been lately, they just ranked a little bit lower than what we want them to be.
Mm-hmm.
We're still going to read them.
Yes.
So first we're going to be introducing our shared TBR list. Our shared TBR list has 26 main books and 22 extra books for a total of 48 books. And all transparency, we have read a few of those books, but we had to put them on the list because they were just so good.
Mm-hmm. How many books from the main TBR list have you read?
Out of our main TBR list, I've read 5 books.
5.
And from our extra, I've read 13.
Okay.
How many have you read?
I read 9 from our main TBR, and then 13 from our extra.
I think we did the 13 together.
Yeah, the 13 makes sense, and then the 9, I think I have the
Praise.
Yeah, the Praise series. So why so many books that we've already read? Why did we pick that?
I know for me personally, we picked books that we've already read because I struggled so badly last year to keep reading all of these book top hype books I've never read before, books that were just out of my comfort zone. So this year we kind of just try to hone in our list and kind of focus on a genre or specific authors that we really, really love. That's why I have so many.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you have so many?
Yeah, I said that there's nice books to be fillers, and then just some of the books that we've already read, you kind of don't need as much mental capacity to read them again because you already know what happens. It's almost like watching or rewatching your favorite TV show.
Yeah.
So
it's not anxiety driven. You're just chilling.
Mm-hmm.
That's our big theme for this year is to chill. Dive back in, but chill out at the same time. Because last year we did too much.
Right.
And we burned out so fast. We were burned out by May. That's
we
not
have
even
to pace
half a
ourselves.
year. Yeah. What on our list have you read so far?
So on our main list, I read Boyfriend, Lights Out, Deep End, Never King, and then Salicious Players.
I did Lights Out, Boyfriend, Deep End, and then The Fabric of Our
Yes.
Souls. Oh, that book was so good.
Which I'm very excited about.
Yeah, it is. That's all I'm going to say. Diving back into our TBR list, we're going to talk about what on our list has ranked the lowest and why.
Mm-hmm.
What on your main list did you rank 1?
So I actually didn't give any books a 1.
Why?
I think it's because when I sent you the list of the books that I wanted to read, I tried to be super intentional with choosing those. So they were all books that I wanted to read.
Mm-hmm.
And then the ones that you picked, I feel like are the ones that I also was interested to read.
Yeah.
When we picked them either last year or
the year before.
The year, yeah. when they landed on the list,
yeah.
I was excited to read them. So I didn't rank any as number 1.
That's interesting.
Yeah. What about you?
I ranked Midnight Library and caught up which is Lights Out 2. I ranked Lights Out 2 low just because Lights Out 1, I enjoyed it, but not as much as I thought I was going to enjoy it. And obviously that means it's a glimpse at what we read next month, or this month. But it just wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. And I told Courtney I thought that book could have ended way earlier than it did. It just, I'm not excited for it. I am, but I'm not.
I feel that way. Yeah. I feel that.
And then I put Midnight Library because it's a good suggestion, but every time I think about our list, I don't remember it's on there.
Yeah.
So if I don't remember it's on there, then I can't be that excited to read about it.
Yeah. That makes sense.
But I am. It like every time I do remember what it's about, I'm like, oh yeah, that shit should be really good.
Mhm.
But then I forget it exists.
Yeah,
So we'll see. I am excited though.
that's true. What about your extras at number 1?
I ranked Paper Towns and The Housemaid Wedding. These ranked the lowest because I've read Paper Towns and it's a YA book.
Mhm.
And for me, it's more filler than anything else. Like if we get to it, we get to it. If we don't, we don't. That's what extras are for. And then for Housemaid Wedding, the trilogy I've heard such great things about, but the Housemaid Wedding I've heard trash.
Okay,
But
that
it's
makes
part of the
sense.
damn series, and you know how I feel about leaving open series. So if I have to read it, I'm
Mhm.
gonna have to read it. But I heard it was terrible.
That makes
And
sense.
that sucks because Frida McFadden is my wifey. So I'm just going to be very disappointed if that's trash.
That makes sense. What about your main at 2?
I ranked Aurora's Rising, Burning, and End and Tell Me Lies in the second rank because they ranked just slightly higher than the first group, but I've had the Aurora trilogy on my TBR for so long that I'm kind of not as excited for it as I was when we first put it on.
That makes sense.
I'm just kind of now worried that it won't live up to the hype that I've created for it in my own mind.
Mhm.
And then for Tell Me Lies, I'm excited because it's a TV show adaptation, and I love those. But it's a TV show already, so if I really don't like it that much, I could just go watch the show and go figure out what happens, or kind of Google it because
Yeah, do what
we,
Ashley does and Google what
yeah.
happens.
What are on your twos and why?
So for our main at 2, I put Say You Swear, and I feel like that's kind of the same thing what you just said. I know.
Ah!
I know, it's shocking.
That is crazy.
Because I have wanted to read this book for so long.
Yeah.
But the same thing as you have with Aurora's, I'm like, it's been on my
You're
list
scared.
for so long, and I wanted to read it for so long, and I'm so scared that it's not going to live up to the hype.
Ugh.
So for that reason, it's at 2.
Did you just put the one or all three?
I just put the first one.
Okay.
I don't really know too much about the second one, and I don't. So I'm
Me
not.
either.
Yeah. So
They're just on our list because we can't just leave open series
Yeah.
open.
I kind of grouped them together, I guess, just
Gotcha.
because
Gotcha.
I'm scared that if I read the first one, don't love it. And then the other one is you're gonna hate me for this. Oh wait, no, I think this is on our extra.
Yeah, go ahead.
The Never King.
I
I know. I know. Shots fired.
I am so upset with your twos right now.
I know. Because we already read it and I liked it, but I wouldn't say it was like my top fave. So I don't know. I feel like 2 is a little harsh. I will agree.
It wasn't your
But
top
it
fave.
wasn't my top fave. I know. I know. Tragic.
That is not. If it's not in my top 3 reads that we've read together, I'm fucking lying because I love that series.
I know.
But you know, I'm also a Disney girly, so
Yes.
that
You
series
are.
hits.
Yeah. It was really good. I will say
It
that.
is so
It was
fucking
really good. It was really good.
Whenever she comes out with new covers for that book, you know it's gonna be on for me.
Absolutely.
You know it.
Absolutely.
For my extras, I did 5 Feet Apart, Everything, and The Sun Is Also a Star, just because they're similar. They're all YA. They're all movies. I can honestly just go watch the movie if I need to go watch the movie. I have watched 5 Feet Apart already. I haven't watched the other two, but I have watched 5 Feet Apart, and that's why I made my TBR list because the movie was so good.
Interesting. Okay. I haven't seen any of the movies.
Yeah.
So
I've only watched that one, and that's because, shockingly, it's my husband's favorite romance movie. Crazy.
That's amazing.
That is. So I had to watch it. I was just like, oh, this is pretty good. Good for you. So props for him.
Good for you.
What a king.
Proud of you.
What is ranked at your 3 and why?
So for 3, I put Housemaid because I did like the one Frida book that I liked.
I have read more than you, so
but you have read more than me. But also I have seen that people only like the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And so that scares me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it's not rated like higher for me because people have been saying that. And then for the extras I put like The Sun is also a Star, Paper Towns, all of those ones, just because like they are YA, they're more of like our filler books.
Yeah.
So it's not like any of them super stand out to me.
Yeah, I got that.
Sort of like how you feel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For my main list, I did, this is crazy, The Vampire Academy.
Really?
Uh-huh. They rank there because, one,
How?
we all know I love paranormal books. I'm a werewolf girly, a vampire girly, but those books are so fucking big.
Yeah, they are big.
And I'm at the point right now where it's just like, what the fuck are you writing? And it's not a 4-book series. It's a 6-book series. What the fuck are you gonna write about for 6 books and all of the books are like this big?
Mm-hmm.
What are you writing about? You're
That's
not
true.
world building that much. So
That's
that
true.
book needs to be heavy with the plot or heavy with the romance for me to enjoy it. And I'm scared because it's been on my TBR since the first movie came out, and I'm just worried. I'm just worried. I'm shaken. I'm shooken. And then for our extras, I did The Hot Vampire Next Door, which is also crazy, and The Devourer of Men, which is the second series that's connected to the Never King series. I put The Hot Vampire Next Door third because 4 of them were fantastic, but the 4th one's cliffhanger was just so bad it made no fucking sense for the characters. It was kind of like there's development and then there's just the opposite of that, and that's what that was giving.
Mm-hmm.
And then Devourer of Men, I'm excited to read it, but because I love the Never King so much, if this one does not give what the Never King gave, I'm gonna be pissed off.
That's true.
I'm not gonna want them. I'm gonna hate them.
Mm-hmm.
What is ranked at 4 for you and why?
So my main at 4 is, I actually put Vampire Academy.
Okay.
I am excited to read it. I feel like you've been excited to read it, so it's made me excited to read it. Mm-hmm. And I know that they're long books, but I don't know. I'm excited.
We're just excited.
Yeah, I'm ready. And then the other ones at 4, so I put Salacious Players Club, which, I mean, I wrote those before I finished reading Praise, which we'll get into in next episode when we talk about our reviews. But I had already read it, and I was super excited to read it again. But this was also one of the first series, like the first series that I read when I got back into reading in 2023. Mm-hmm. So I feel like I didn't have a lot of experience with other writing and authors and things like that. Mm-hmm. So I was afraid that I hyped her up too much in my head. So
when you found others that were maybe better.
Right. And then I put the Aurora series.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're kind of like,
I know, we're like opposite, so I guess it's good how we planned it out.
Yeah. Except my main 4 is the Salacious Players and Deep End. Mm-hmm. So for Salacious Players, I've already read a series that's like a sex club.
Yes.
The Katie Roberts series, Disney ones. Of course. But those ended up being so similar after the first 2 books, where this one I'm scared it's going to be the same way. So it's not 5, but it is a 4 because I'm gross. That's why. The theme.
No, I mean, believe me, I know I'm definitely going to enjoy the smut. So that's why even if I don't enjoy all of the plots. Yeah.
And then for Deep End, I ranked it at 4 because I have had like the author Ali Hazelwood on my list for so long that if I don't read her this year, I'm not going to read her at all. So she's ranked 4. I had to get it done. Mm-hmm. And for Deep End, besides Bride, I have heard the best things about Deep End and Bride. So that's why I ranked it as a 4.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then for my extras, I put the Housemaid series by Frida McFadden. I've already read more than 1 book by her. Mm-hmm. And I love her, except what you had said earlier, that only the first one is loved. And I think it's because she cannot write books that are series. Every single one of her books that I've read, and then the one that we've read together, it ends perfectly as a singular book.
Right.
I don't know if she's capable of making a series.
And I don't know if you know the answer to this, but did she plan on making the Housemaid series always? Or like, is it one of those things where that's the other thing too, is like where authors get hyped and then, oh, let me add another one and another one. And then it's like, we did not need this. Yeah. And we didn't need this. So I don't know that answer, but
I feel that because I think the first book that made her big was The Housemaid. That was when I found her. So I can't honestly say if I know the answer that
Mhm.
she originally made that a series, but probably not.
Yeah, I just
I
thought
think it
about
was
that.
probably part of that hype thing that
Mhm.
these people, and then they come out with these books that are so trash. I'm
Exactly.
so tired of that.
Or force it when it doesn't
I'm
need to
so
be. Yeah,
tired.
yeah,
Yeah.
force it.
What is ranked your highest? Like, what are you the most excited about?
Okay. I actually have a lot of mains at 5. So
I do too.
my first one is Tell Me Lies, just because it was recommended to me by a friend. So she really hyped it up. And like we said, there's a TV show. The plot looks really good when I looked up the synopsis. So
Your friend better not let me down.
I know, I'm hoping, fingers crossed. She said she liked it. So we'll see. Then I put Midnight Library because this was one of the ones that was on my list last year that it did not get read before the
Our
drop
crash
off.
out.
Yeah, it did not get read. So I've been wanting to read that one for a bit. So I'm excited for that. Fabric of Our Souls. Yes. Yes, 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 yes,
That book gives me
yes.
the tingles.
The summary already had me hooked, so like I can only imagine how the book is gonna go for me.
Mm.
So that deserved a 5. And my last one, oh, I did put Deep End, and Caught Up slash Lights Out.
Mm.
Deep End because I just had also seen it so hyped, and I was really excited. And it was kind of the first book that I was gonna read, getting back into reading.
Mm.
So again, kind of goes with the praise situation where it's like, oh, this is exciting. And Caught Up, I feel like it probably is getting overranked by me to be at 5 because I agree with what you said earlier of Lights Out, where I feel like it could have ended earlier and
So
things
much
like that.
earlier. Oh my god.
And I don't know really what the premise of it is.
It's gonna be the cousin.
Okay.
That's all I know.
Yeah.
It's gonna take the mafia turn. And
Yeah.
we know how we feel about mafia books. So
See, that yeah, like I love the
mafia.
mafia. So
Say that lightly.
allegedly. I allegedly.
Say that lightly. Oh my god.
But I love mafia books. As a correction. So I am optimistic about that one.
Not you saying I love mafia dressed in all black too. Ma'am.
Yeah, sorry. Oopsie. And then for my extras at 5, I did put 5 Feet Apart actually.
Wow.
That one really I read the synopsis and honestly seems like it's probably gonna crush me. So really excited for that.
That is kind of like the equivalent of The Fault in Our Stars that you can get from the
Right.
synopsis. So
Yeah.
that's why
Yeah.
it depends on our emotional
I need to
stability
be ready
at the
to
moment.
read that. Yeah.
We gotta absolutely be ready to like not be mentally okay after
Yeah.
for a bit.
It's like a 5, but I can't pick it up tomorrow and it
Yeah.
be a 5. Like it has to be right time.
Yeah.
And then Hot Vampire. That is a 5 for me. I ate those books up.
They were so good.
I do agree about the cliffhanger. Again, like it could have been a 4.5 because of that, and I feel like the ending. I hope she takes it in a good way. Like,
yeah, because this is the last. The 5th is the last one.
Right. So
It's
I
done.
hope something happens in book 5.
It just didn't make sense the turn it took.
I know.
What the fuck was
It
that?
really didn't. So, but I'm excited for that one. And then the last one is the Alliance Men because they will always have the biggest place in my heart.
Oh my god.
Forever and always.
Your Never King is one of my top 3. The Alliance is my absolute favorite fucking series we've ever read together.
I honestly think, yeah, I would have to say yes.
Oh
I agree. And I could read those books 100 times over and I would never be sick of those men.
Yeah.
What about you?
My mains were Lights Out, The Boyfriend, the Say You Sarah trilogy. See, very opposite of you.
Wow.
And the Fabric of Our Souls duology.
Okay.
For the Fabric of Our Souls, obviously I fucking read it already. I loved it. Top 5 of my own like solo books that I've already read. Obviously I had to buy the special edition. But this story fucking slapped. And I'm excited to read it again. And they came out with a book too after I read the first one. So it was on my TBR list to close the series, and now that you want to read it, I'm excited to read it.
I do want to read it. I'm very excited for that one.
And then, in all fairness, I've read Lights Out, but if I ranked it after I read it, I wouldn't rank a 5 because
that's kind of what I feel like too. I ranked it before I like read it. So.
Yeah, if I read it before I made this list, it would have been lower. But I based it off of what I felt before I read it, so it was a 5, and it was good, but it wasn't great. And
what would you give it now? Like a 3, or you put?
I would give it like a 3.5.
Okay.
Out of 5. But we'll talk about that
next
episode where you guys can see why I'm so pissed the fuck off. And then for the boyfriend, I love Frida. That's my wife, like I said. She's my thriller mystery waifu. But I'm so scared to read The Housemaid. But the boyfriend was I was so excited to read it. I have that one. I have The Crash. I have a lot of her books in paperback ready for me to read. So I was just like, and then she wanted to read it too, so I was just like, oh, absolutely. Let's get this done.
I forgot that one, but I did also put that as a 5.
That was good.
I lost it in my notes, but yeah. I did also put it as a 5 because I was excited to read a book from her too.
Yeah.
Especially that one where, like we said already with The Housemaid, like I'm not sure about all the books, but with this one I was ready.
Yeah. After I read her first one, I was hooked immediately last year. So to have her back on our list this year, that one ranked the highest out of all of her books. And then for the Say You Swear trilogy, I bought us those special edition ones last year.
Yes.
And because of how pretty it is alone, that's what ranked it. It's so pretty that I cannot just leave it anywhere lower.
Yeah.
The illustrations on the page, and I am excited to read it. Like you said earlier, I don't really remember what they're about, but based off of the book itself, like the art in it, I was excited to read it. And then for my extras, I put The Alliance, obviously. We don't need to talk that much about it anymore. And The Never King. Again, we don't need to talk about it anymore. You guys know there's my top 3, my 1 and probably my 2. I don't know what my 3 would be, honestly. Probably the Sin series, because she just knows how to write men.
She does know how to write men. That is men written by women.
Oh, God. But they're both utter perfection, and that's all I have to say about that.
Absolutely.
They're my top 5.
All right. So now we're going to get into some questions about our shared TBR. So the most common genre. We're going to have the same answer for this one.
Romance. I think most of our list is romance, and then sprinkled by like thriller and fantasy.
Yeah.
But it's either romance, dark romance, or fucking straight out smut. So
sorry.
we're gonna we have very little like tear jerking, anxiety ridden books. We're trying to keep it very simple this year. So romance is a safe bet.
Safe bet.
Our problem with that is that if they're all too similar, we're fucked.
I feel like that's kind of what happens to us sometimes, is like,
yeah,
there's only so many ways that it can be written. So
yeah, like twisted and the fine print. So as long as we keep breaking up the series, like we broke up Praise, we read the first one, we're gonna read the next 2, and then we're gonna break it up.
Yeah, I think that's good.
We're gonna
won't give us
we'll go to a whole different genre,
right,
before we go back to that. Our most common author.
So Sarah Kate and Rochelle Mead both have a series of 6 books for us.
I put Nikki Synchro.
Oh, yes. I forgot.
She's got 9 books. No,
that's
she's got
true.
11 books.
Yes.
Because she has the Never King.
I forget that, like, the Hot Vampire is not, because they're so small, and it's like
books.
1 through 5, but they are books. So I forgot about that.
So she has the Never King, which is 4. The Hot Vampire Next Door, which is 5. And then she has The Devourer of Men, which is 2 now.
Yeah.
Because the second one just came out this month.
Okay.
So this girl's got 11.
Yeah. She beat her out.
Shortly followed would be
by those 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, both with 6.
What are books you can't believe you haven't read?
So I put Say You Swear, Aurora's Rising, Burning, and Vampire Academy. And mostly because Say You Swear was the book I wanted to read the most last year. And then Aurora's and Vampire, I feel like, were the books that you were most excited to read. I was
so excited, but now I'm so scared.
Yeah.
Last year has me so fucked up that I'm just sitting here like, I'm scared. I don't want to go into another crash out. I don't want to burn out. The 3 that I put was Say You Swear because she was so excited and they're so pretty. I do base books off of the cover and it's so pretty, so I want to read it. And then I put The Salacious Players Club because Courtney talked them up so much. The fact that I haven't read them is fucking wild.
That's
So
true.
ever since she read them in 2023, they've been on my list, and it's just like, what the fuck am I doing? So at this point, we're gonna read them. And then I put Vampire Academy too because, like I said, they've been on my TBR the longest, and I'm so excited to read them that they follow me every single year. And this year, if I don't read them, I'm taking them out. I'm done with it. So I'm like, what the fuck? Why haven't I read it? But I'm gonna read it. I'm getting it done.
What books are you worried won't live up to the hype?
Lights Out. Again, I wrote this before I read it. Lights Out. I'm a ghost face girly. I love Scream. I even have a Scream shirt and a Scream purse and all this stuff. That's all I'm gonna say. Aurora's Rising, again, like Courtney said, I've had them on my list for so long, and I love sci-fi. So for me, sci-fi just needs to be absolutely perfect, or it's not good. You can't. There's no fantasy and romance. It could either be good or it could either be bad. But for sci-fi, it has to just be perfect. It's my favorite genre, so it has to be perfect. And then Salacious Players, because Courtney hyped it up so fucking much that if it's not perfect and it doesn't live up to the hype, I'm gonna question her. I'm gonna look at her and be like, "What'd you do to me? Why'd you do this?" So I'm a little nervous, but I think she's got this. So, what are your 3?
So I put Say You Swear again, just because I feel like I've hyped it up so much in my mind that I'm like scared that I overhyped it for myself. I also put Salacious Players because I'm afraid that I overhyped it.
Oh my god!
Because I know when I did read them in 2023, I ate them up. Book 2 of that series was done in less than a weekend. Like it was one of those books where I stayed up to finish. So I'm just afraid that I overhyped, but we'll see. And then I picked Tell Me Lies because, again, my friend hyped it to me, and we haven't read any books together. I don't know like what books she has read, so
yeah,
just don't know what to go based off of.
And what I'm noticing for both my 3 and your 3 is that none of the TikTok books have ended up on our We're Scared list.
I know.
None of them. Which is interesting because
if
we wrote this list last year, it would be completely different. Where did most of our books come from this year?
I feel like a lot of them came from each other. A few of them were TikTok. So like Lights Out was TikTok, Deep End was TikTok. Those are like the few that we had.
Yeah.
Other than that, most of it I feel like has been either each other, what we wanted to read, what you wanted to like.
Yeah.
Just picking based off that.
I wrote the same thing, just the 2 of us. And then what books have been on your TBR the longest? And obviously we intend to read them, so I don't know why Roy I picked it as a question.
So mine were Say You Swear, Praise, Vampire Academy.
Mine are Vampire Academy, The Salacious Players, and 5 Feet Apart.
Okay, yeah.
Obviously we intend to read them, but the only one that's a maybe for me is 5 Feet Apart. Because if we get to it, we get to it. If we need a filler, it's a good filler, but it's not like on our main list.
So what books do you keep going back to and want to start?
Obviously Vampire Academy is obviously one of those 3. It's just been on my list for so long, and like I said, if I don't do it this year, I'm not doing it at all. I'm gonna give up on it. And then A Ballad of Phantoms and Hope, because it's the second one of this one, and this one was so good. I'm so excited to read it. And then Housemaid. I love Frida, but the fact that TikTok does not seem to like that series, it's got me a little shooketh because TikTok likes everything. They like utter trash.
Exactly.
So I'm worried, but I'm excited. Yeah. What about you?
For mine, I put Midnight Library because that was on my list all of last year, and I think I put it on at the end of 2023, so I think it's been on there for a while, and I always want to read it but I never pick it, so I put that one. And then The Fabric of Our Souls, I feel like I remember when you read it last year. It was last year, right? Yeah. So you read it last year and you had told me about it, and I immediately wanted to read it, and then we went into our crash out. So it never happened. But like even making the lists this year, that was one of the ones that I was thinking about constantly.
Left a good impression.
And then the last one that I put was again like Say You Swear. Obviously, I've been wanting to read that book for like 2 years, and I just again never picked it to do.
I think what also turns us off to that book is again the longevity of it, because every time we go to like KU to pick our next book, we look at the page count, and that one just has
it's big.
There's just no reason why these people are writing that many pages in a book. No reason. There's chapters that could be X'd out. There's like whole paragraphs that could just be X'd out. There's whole lights out. It could have really ended 25 to 20% before it actually ended.
Absolutely.
So, Say You Swear being that big is kind of just like, ooh. And we did that last year with Zodiac Academy. We were gonna start it. Why is the series in books so big? So we're very cautious of page count now.
Yeah,
that's why I think Say You Swear has just been
chilling. It's
Vampire Academy
just been chilling.
But if I don't get it done, I'm not getting it done.
Exactly.
Speaking of, what is the longest book?
Our longest book is The Last Sacrifice, which is the last book in Vampire Academy.
Why? And all of the books are so long. Pages. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, and it didn't even really beat out any of the other books in that series by much.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous.
I think the one before that was like 570 or something like that.
Just ridiculous. And then it would be also our longest series with 2,787 pages.
Yep.
What are you writing for almost 3,000 pages?
Yep.
I'm scared. I'm nervous. I'm really nervous.
I know.
And then the opposite of that, our shortest book is Madam. So she wraps it up with a nice little bow. And then our shortest series is Fabric of Our Souls, which is 651 pages combined. This one is less than half. The other one is bigger.
It's bigger.
It's much bigger. Which is scary for me, because this one was utter perfection at how little this is. Like, it's really little. So for the next one to be more than half of those 650 pages is oh Lord Jesus, help me. What are you the most excited for?
Most excited for, I did put Deep End, just because I feel like that was the one I was seeing so many TikToks about. I was seeing everyone rave about it. It's kind of the book that got me back into reading this time, so I was most excited to start that one.
I put, obviously, The Fabric of Our Souls. What's The Fabric of Our Souls? It's so good, and I'm so excited to read it again. And for the second one, like I just said, I'm a little worried, but I don't think I have to be that worried. I have a bunch of her books now because this one was so good. I have a bunch of her books upstairs now. So, I'm so excited. What are you the most, like, what are you anticipating the most?
Surprisingly, I put Midnight Library, because I do really like the premise of that book. I think that it's really interesting. It talks about, like, how every life decision you make can change the trajectory and all of that, and that I love that type of stuff. Like, that really interests me. I read a book last year. It was The Maybe in Another Life by Taylor Jenkins Reid, that had a similar plot, I would say.
Similar vibe.
Yeah, similar vibe, where she lived 2 alternate timelines, and you follow and see how different her life changes just by one decision she made. So I just like those kinds of books. They're always interesting to me. So I did put that one. What about you?
I put Vampire Academy. I should be surprised at this point. I'm not even going to talk about it. We're just going to keep going. What are you most skeptical for?
I did put Housemaid.
I put Delicious Players.
That's also true.
Because I did the Disney Sex Club.
Yeah.
I got to stop saying that because it just sounds so wrong. You know what? No, that's actually what it is. It's a Disney Sex Club. I'm just worried that the Sex Club is just going to be just as mid as the other one.
I definitely think it was good, but
yeah,
I don't know.
2025 Courtney is not the same as 2023 Courtney.
Yeah, when 2023 Courtney loved that.
2023 Courtney was unhinged as
fuck.
Oh my god.
We are lucky we did not start this in 2023. I would need to block everyone I know.
Oh my god, no, she definitely would. 2023 Courtney was unhinged. Or remember that one book I read that was literally called Unhinged? With the door?
No.
Sorry, Mom. Don't look that up.
Don't Google.
Don't look that up. We're gonna jump right into our next topic. Topic 4 is gonna be our solo TBR list. We're just gonna go back and forth with each other. How many books are on your main and extras?
So my main list, I have 14, and that includes writing out the series that I have on there.
Mhm.
And then my extras, I have quite a bit more. I have 30.
That's okay.
But
Just double.
I put it on there. I put a lot more on my extra. One, because I made my list, and those were the ones I was like, I definitely want to read these. And then the extras, I had found a lot while I was on Goodreads and all of that. So I've just been adding to it too. So that's kind of why it's growing.
I have 25 main, which is a good amount. I have our 26 and then our 25, which will scratch my soul because that's 51. Oh, that's actually not going to piss me off. And then I have 41 extras.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of my main list is books I've already read. So I'm kind of just... And so is my extras. My extras are also books that I've already read. They're... Because of how bad we did last year, I just needed to go back into the books that I've loved. And a lot of the books that are still coming out are books that I've already read continuances.
Mm-hmm.
So like Hunger Games, the new one just came out.
Right.
Percy Jackson, he now has books 6, 7, and 8 is coming out. So it's kind of just like, damn, now I got to read my childhood books again to finish the series because now it's going to be open. It's going to irritate my soul. I can't do that. And then even Maze Runner, they have the second series. It's called Maze Cutter, where the 8th one is going to come out. And now I have to read that again, too. So it's like...
Yeah, that's true.
And because I've already jumped into that, how many of our main and extras have you read of yours?
So for my main, I read 3, but this was because I did these questions like
after this month?
Yeah, after I read some already. So the 3 books that I read before this month had not read them. These ones will be in the next March wrap-up video. And then for my extra list, I only read 1 book, and that one's The Sinner, which I love. Again, Unhinged 2023, Courtney. But with that extra book, I will say I gotta be careful because when I read it, it was dark. I didn't read another book for the rest of the month, so I gotta be cautious with that one.
I've read 8 in my main list, and I've read 18 in my extras. Again, I just talked about them.
Right.
Just moving on. Why so many that you've read?
And pretty much what I just said too as well. Like the 3 that I read from the main list were all the ones that I've read in March, and then The Sinner was probably one of my top favorite books in 2023, if I'm remembering correctly. It might have taken number 1. So I was just like, I always love to reread some messed up stuff. Yeah. So,
it's just a guaranteed read. Like,
right.
It's something that can pull us out of a potential crash out, and it's something that we've already enjoyed, so why not enjoy it again? You already know what's going to happen. Just enjoy it again.
And I'm hoping now that I've already read it, it's kind of the same thing we were talking about earlier. I know what to expect. So I'm hoping it also wouldn't set me back where I can't read another book for a little while.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like a book slump that it put me in. It was just like,
whoa, there's a lot.
Yeah.
I know for me, which is really weird, even for the books that I've read, and I found this out during like rereading Percy Jackson for the billionth time, I still get anxious reading these books a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still like, oh, okay, let's just pass this part. I know it's going to be fine after this, but like, it's not fine right now. So let's just keep going.
And I did read it. I read it in February of 2023. Yeah. So it's been a while since I've read it. So I don't think I remember everything, but
it will be a little anxious, but not that much.
Yeah.
Now, what is on your 1 rank? Did you skip this one too?
No, I do have ones.
Ooh!
I do have ones. So, for my main ones, the first one is True Colors, which I feel like is going to be surprising that it's at 1 because a lot of people love her. It's Kristen Hanna. She has like a lot of historical fictions and stuff like that. But you know me. You know that's not my genre.
Yeah. It's maybe your least favorite genre.
Maybe my least favorite genre. And I really am I tried to pick books that like at least try one or two that are not in my realm of what I normally read, doesn't mean I'm not scared to read them. So I put that one. And then I also put the Crossfire series, which would be so surprising if you talked to me like a couple months ago.
Or last year.
Crossfire is another series that I have had on my list for forever. I wanted to read it so bad. I read the first one in March. I hated it. I hated it.
I hate it.
We're going to get into it. We'll get into it in the March wrap-up. But it was not good.
Before you read it, it would have easily been like a 4 or a 5.
It would have been a 4 or a 5.
Yeah.
And I read the first one, and it just plummeted.
Yeesh.
So, those are my main ones. And then my extra one, I just have one, and it's called Dangerous Offer. It's a romantic suspense. And the reason why I'm scared about it is because I don't know if it's going to be done well. Okay. I feel like romantic suspense is kind of another one of those genres for me where it's like I
feel like for that genre it just needs to be either
or. Because like I read Pen Pal. Remember when I read Pen Pal and that was a romantic suspense?
And you were in.
Like the plot twist was great at the end. It was kind of unexpected, but other than that, I was just like, why the fuck am I reading this? Like, so I'm kind of scared. What about you?
My main list contains 2 books I've already read, which is What's Left of Me and Bittersweet Memories. They're both books I've read, but they're not highlights of my past reading journey. So I want to read them again, especially Bittersweet Memories, because I didn't know it was a series. Now it's a series. Actually, it's the 3rd one in a series, and I didn't know that. So now I gotta, you know how I am. It scratched my brain. It's irritating me. Now I have to go back and finish it. And then I put Lore. Lore is written by the author that wrote The Darkest Minds.
Yes.
And I tried The Darkest Minds. I got maybe 2 chapters into that one, and I didn't like it. And this was when I was really into dystopian YA books. So Maze Runner, Hunger Games, Divergent.
I remember that, yeah.
It didn't scratch my brain. in a good way. It wasn't exciting. But Lore, I did try reading it last year. I got a whole chapter in. And it was really interesting, that first chapter, but then I think I decided to read something else. But it's just been stuck in my brain to read. I'm just skeptical because I don't like the author, but the plot of the first chapter was good. So it's on my list, but I'm worried about it. And then I put Nothing More and Nothing Less. That's written by Anna Todd, the After series lady.
Yep.
And that series is about Landon.
Oh, okay.
But Landon is a boring ass character.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what she could write for 2 whole books about Landon and his love life when he was a boring ass character. Even his girlfriend, they just seem so vanilla.
That's valid. Like you can't, especially like how do you go from
Hardin and Tessa.
Yeah.
Hardin especially.
To Landon.
So I'm not really.
Yeah.
It's on the list because like it's the same world, and I love Hardin and Tessa. Landon's boring. He's like a wet potato.
The best way to describe him, honestly.
He's just
not even dramatic at all.
Like, potatoes are so good and he has potential, but he's just like a wet potato.
Right.
And then my extras, I put the Divergent series. I've read them. I've never read 4. So, of course, it's itching my brain. I have to finish it. But I know how it ends, and I'm not excited to read that again. And then the My Fault series. I didn't finish the series, and I really want to just be done with it. So I never have to read it again. The first one I only read because I watched the movie.
Yeah.
And unfortunately I made her read it too with me, and that was so tragic.
Yeah. At least for me, I don't have the problem where I don't have to finish. I was like, you're on your own for that one.
She was like, see you later, goodbye. But I have this problem that I can't leave them like that. I'm not a DNF person, but if I was, this would get lost.
Yeah, I forgot that book existed. I was like, bye.
And because I have now, like, I have the series, I haven't watched the second movie, and it's also itching my brain. But I'm gonna wait until the 3rd movie comes out, and then I'm gonna attack this all at once, so I never have to do it ever again. It's gonna get lost. I'm never gonna do it.
That's valid.
I'm never gonna recommend it. I'm so sorry. And honestly, I think they're maybe just bad because the author didn't write them in English, so maybe the translation wasn't as good. Like the plot maybe have gotten a little mixed up because it wasn't an English writer. So the translation probably just got a little fucked up. Maybe I should order them in Spanish and read them that way, but I would have to have my husband read it to me. What is on your list as a 2?
2. So for my main, I put The Invention of Wings, which is again another book that's in like the historical genre.
I think I would enjoy reading that one.
I'm trying to branch out, so I'll see if it's good. I'll recommend it. And then the other one is I have the rest of the Tessa Bailey series from Fangirl Down that I read last year, and I really enjoyed Fangirl Down, but I'm afraid that the series is going to get super repetitive because it's all sports romance based, and again, romance, some things can be changed, but I feel like it's just going to get repetitive. So I think I'm going to have to like space those out really well or something, kind of how I'm doing with the Crossfire series.
Do you know if the Tessa Bailey books, are they all teammates like the Deal series was?
No, so I don't know how the last 2 are connected, but I do know. So Fangirl Down was the two characters, and then Au Pair Affair, which is number 2, the girls are best friends.
Gotcha.
So that's how that one came into play. And then I think the next one is Dream Girl Drama, which is also, it looks like hockey. So I think they're probably teammates.
Gotcha.
And then the last one is Pitcher Perfect, which is baseball. So I don't know how they're going to connect.
Gotcha.
But there's some sort of connection.
At least you won't get bored with like, oh, the teammates, they all know each other, they're probably all similar. Like the Deal, they were all teammates. They weren't all similar. That series we'll get to in a different episode, but they were similar, but not really.
Yeah.
So maybe, hopefully, it's something like that. Maybe even a little bit better because they're not all teammates. They're not all hockey. It won't be the same.
And I've been excited to read the Au Pair Affair. Like once I read Fangirl Down, because I did enjoy it. I think I'm gonna have to space it out, and that'll be help me on that one.
And it might even be one of those series where the first one was so hyped up because TikTok loved Tessa Bailey, where then she decided to write more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then my extras at 2, The Doctor is one that I picked, and it's a series that is about, it's basically like smut, but each book is, there's the doctor, the lawyer, like whatever they are, right? Like, so the only reason why I ranked that at 2 is because I'm not sure if it's just going to be all smut, no plot, which sometimes we love. So again, sometimes we need, just pick it at the right time. But that, I'm a little skeptical. I also have never read any of her books. And then the other one is the Wilder Family series, which I've never read a book by her. I have to look and see who that's by. It's by Kayla Sorensen. I found it on like Amazon or Goodreads as a recommended, just based off of the other books that I've looked at. But I read the summary and it's not like screaming out to me that I need to read it. So it's probably one that if I don't get to it this year.
Oh well. I know for the doctor and the lawyer, that's also on like my very extended list. So you need to let me know if those are good. For my mains, I put Once You're Mine and Now You're Mine. They've been on my KU for so long. I think since when I bought my KU in 2023, they've been on there that whole time. I have not returned it. It's just sitting there. Both of them. And you only get 20 KU books. So for me to just be holding on to these 2 books forever, I need to get them done. And then, like her, I put Tessa Bailey books. I put the It Happened One Summer and Hook, Line, and Sinker duology. I figured if I'm going to give Tessa Bailey a try, I'm going to just try these 2. Because I do own these 2, and I've owned them for a while. So if I'm not going to get into her, I'll know by these 2. That way I'm not getting into 4 books. I'm only getting into 2.
Right. And she doesn't have like anything on KU. So you have to buy everything.
No, she doesn't.
So.
Sorry. And then the last one I have in my main is The Fault in Our Stars. I've already read it. I don't think I'm mentally stable enough right now to read it. So that's why I put it as a 2. Kind of like 5 Feet Apart. It just, I'll be ready when I'm ready. Until then, I'm not ready. And then for my extras, I put the Twilight series and the Maze Runner series. I feel like it is my duty to read the Twilight series. We love those movies.
I know.
I literally just watched the first 3, and I'm going to watch the last 2 whenever I have a time, but just finished the 3 movies.
I know.
The problem with those books is they're humongous.
They're massive.
What the fuck is wrong with
They're
you people?
massive. That's a commitment right
That
there.
is like it's just so long. And I want to do the 4 main books, and I want to do Midnight Sun, which is Edward's point of view.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm committing to even more than I was committing to before. I'm not going to read any of the other Twilight books, like Bree Tanner's Second Life or the Life and Death book, where it's like reversed.
Mm-hmm.
Bella's a guy and Edward's
None
a girl.
of like the spin-offs.
I'm not doing any of those, but 5 books that are all gigantic is a huge commitment, so I'm not like looking forward to really doing that. And then the Maze Runner series, kind of like Divergent. I'm not ready to experience that again. I read the Fever Code and the other one, the first one, for the Kill Order for the first time last year, so I am ready to read those 2 again, because it tells you like more information about the trilogy, but because 6, 7, and 8 came out, I have to read them again and experience one of the worst book deaths I've ever felt in my whole life. So I'm not ready.
That's fair.
What is ranked in your middle and why?
So ranked for middle for me, I put Catch the Sun by Jennifer Hartman. I love her. I already read this book. We're not gonna get into it right now. Didn't love it. That's all we're gonna say.
Oh,
I know. Tune in for the March wrap up video.
Oh.
I know. Sad.
Oh.
I know. Sad. And then the other one I ranked at 3 was the Loser Trio. I have these on audio.
And they've been on your list a hot
They've
minute.
been on my list a hot minute.
Yeah.
They've been on there since 2023. Again, though, has been hyped up by TikTok and Facebook groups and all of that. So I'm skeptical. I'm not sure if it's going to live up to the hype. But I am going to do the first one, which is like a novella, in April. So we shall see how that goes. And then for my extra, I put the Tattered and Torn series. So this is by the author Catherine Coles. I don't know how you say her last name. I am reading one of her books for March. So I liked her writing. I'm excited to see if I like the series. I liked the summary. So it's all looking up. But again, I've read one book. So we shall see.
My fear for your Lights Out trilogy, since it starts in a novella, is that it's going to end up like Pucking Around. Because the novella, that one night for Pucking Around, was so good. It wrapped us in so hard. Then we got to Pucking Around and we were like...
Yeah. And the other thing, too, is, so it's a trio, technically, but the novella is The Dare, and then the books are Losers Part 1 and Losers Part 2.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's just, is it one big book, essentially? Or is it, I don't know how that works.
Gotcha.
It's been so long since I've looked into it. What about you?
On my main list, I put the Stemma series by Allie Hazelwood. It's got The Love Hypothesis, Love on the Brain, and Love Theoretically.
Yes.
And then there's 4 novellas that go into that. The Loathe to Hate You or something like that.
Yeah.
They have been on my shelf since, I think, Love on the Brain came out. And Deep End was good.
Yeah.
So I want to read these. But I'm just not excited to read them. Because Deep End was good, but it wasn't great.
Yeah.
And if this is one of her 2 very hyped up books, I'm kind of concerned on how I'm going to feel for her other books, the Stemma series, because it's not one book. I can't just drop it after one.
Right.
And everyone knows, as I've said so many times in this episode, it's going to itch my brain until I finish it. But if I don't finish it this year, I'm not going to be that pressed about it, because hopefully I will finish a lot of the other ones I have on my list that have been itching my brain. So. And then I put Quicksilver. It's been so hyped. that if someone fucking lied, if you all lied, I'm gonna be mad. And then Sunrise of the Reaping. Obviously, I love the Hunger Games. Who fucking doesn't? If you like dystopian books, who doesn't? The Hunger Games is maybe the best dystopian book out of like all of the books that came out around that time. But the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes was not good to me. I struggled to read that one. I'm actually reading it again right now. And when I tell you I've only read the 16 pages in the last 5 days, that's all I've read.
Yeah.
So this is Hamish's story, and if it's not good, I'm going to be pissed.
Right.
Because Hamish deserves
deserves
the
it all.
fucking world. So if
Absolutely.
it's not good, I'm pissed. And then for my extras, I put the Book of Azrael, which again is so hyped up. If y'all fucked up, I'm gonna be pissed. And it's no longer one book, it's 4 books. When did that happen? The Book of Azrael, I feel like, only came out last year. So where did she have time to drop 3 more right after that? And if it's because she came out too fast and they're all trash, I'm gonna fight some of you guys on TikTok. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm gonna have
that's
beef
concerning
with you guys.
timeline right there.
And then I put the Hunger Games series. Just I'm excited, but like I just expressed, I'm struggling with the first one so bad. I might have to go back to the audio. I did the audio last time I read it because it was so bad to me. And then the Campus Diary series that I was telling you about, which is the kids of the Deal series.
Yes.
But only 3 of them have came out so far, so I don't know if I want to read them and chance that there's going to be 2 more, because all of the couples in the first series had kids.
Right.
And there's 5 books. I mean, there's 4 couples, but there's 5 books. So I'm worried that one more book will come out and then I'm going to be pissed off because I didn't read them together.
Yeah, I'd probably wait on that if I were you.
So they're there, but I'm trying to see if one more comes out because the last one I just got came out in February. So it might come out. Either hopefully this year, because Elle Kennedy's a good author and she doesn't just throw out trash. She takes time. But it probably won't come out this year. So it's my 3, and I'm excited, but not that much, and it's extra. So if I have to wait, I'll wait.
Yeah.
What is ranked on your list as 4 and why?
So for 4, I have All the Missing Pieces from my main. That's because I haven't read her. Well, when I made this, I hadn't read her yet. So, but I did really like the summary of the book. And I was excited to try someone new because I had found her actually like on Amazon. I was looking up some book I don't even remember, and found her in the internet abyss and just kind of like went on a rabbit hole of her. So I put that one as 4. And then for my extra at 4, I put I found a trilogy. It's called the Dirty Billionaires trilogy. And if you know me, I love a billionaire trope and I love a smut book. So, I mean, it doesn't seem like there's anything I could hate about it, but it is a trilogy. Another author I haven't read before. Don't want it to get repetitive if it's the same trope for 3 books.
Yeah. These people. Some series or genres should just be solo books.
Right.
And you know what? I don't want to say this because we've been proven wrong, but mafia books and billionaire books feel like they should just be solo books. Unless they're billionaire and mafia besties.
That's why I'm scared, because it's 3 books and I'm like, how different can you really write this?
Yeah, and is it one couple or is it just
I don't know. I didn't look that much into it. I didn't want to look at the summary of the second book.
Gotcha.
Because I didn't want to give it away or anything. What about you?
My main list contains Percy Jackson 1 through 5. And this is very specific. Obviously, I said 1 through 5. And First Time Caller. I've read the Percy Jackson book so many times, so what's one more? And then for First Time Caller, the hype has gone to me, and I'm excited to read it. And I now own the paperback, and I have it with the sprayed edges, and it's so fucking cute. And like I said before, I base it off of the cover. But this one to the side, this one to the edges, and I'm so excited to read it. I don't even want to destroy it, like break the spine or any of that stuff. But I'm going to have to because I just want to look at it. I just want to be like, wow, as I'm reading it. And that's kind of weird, but I don't care. And then for my extras, I put Part of Your World series by Abby Jimenez. I've seen a lot of her books recently go like viral. So I have 4 of her books. It's a series, but it's not a series, but it's a series. So if I have to only read 2, I'll read the main 2, and then the other 2 can go fuck a duck. And then I put the Dorothy Must Die series. She knows I love these books. I've read them already, but I never read the novellas. So I'm going to read the novellas and then read the series again and see if I still feel the same. And since Wicked is like Wicked 2 will be out this year, and I just got this amazing Wizard of Oz book. Might as well just make it a whole fucking thing at this point and do a whole Wizard of Oz world. Might as well do the universe. It's so cute. But those are all my 4s. Yes. Okay. What are all of your 5s? And then we'll get into our last topic.
So 5s for the main. I only have 1. And that is The Shadow and the Draw.
It's so pretty.
I read this one in March. There's a second one too, The Earth and Flame. And I read the first one in March and I loved it. It is really good. So, yeah, it was really good. I have a great review to give for it when we talk about it in our March wrap up. I really honestly picked it because of how it looks. I think is the reason why I bought it originally, like last year. And then I thought that the summary was amazing. After reading it, it deserves to stay at 5. So I'm very excited about that.
And your extras?
And then my extras, I have The Sinner because obviously I already read it, loved it. Sure, I will love it again. Then I put Magnolia Park series because that one's been on my list a while. And it's on my extras just because when I was making my list, I didn't want to add a lot of long series. And I had Crossfire, which is 5. Magnolia Parks is 5. So I hadn't put it on my main list, but it's one of the ones that I'm very excited to read off the extra list.
Magnolia Parks is on my our Magneto long list of books, but I got scared because those are
they're huge.
They're huge, and then they're hyped.
They're huge. So
these people just give me too much trauma, and I'm sick and tired of it. So I don't really trust TikTok no more. But I did sprinkle some in there.
Yeah, I am scared about that one a little bit. And then the Uncovered, which I read the summary. It looks good. I don't really remember exactly what the premise was off the top of my head, but the tropes are right up my alley. I do remember that. So can never go wrong. If my tropes are written the right way, like that's all I need. I'm an easy going girl on that one. And then the last one for number 5 is Sparrow Falls, which is another one from Catherine Cowles. And I really liked what that one sounds like it's going to be about. But that's another series of 5. So, like, a lot of the ones on my extra are longer series. So, we just have to see how much I'm willing to commit to this year on those ones. What about you?
My main list has the Butcher and Blackbird trilogy. I've seen so much about them. I'm scared, but I don't think I need to be because they're kind of like up my alley. The dark suspense romance, even though I said that those shouldn't be a genre.
Yeah.
Lights Out, it was up my alley. I didn't like it as much as I thought I was, but it wasn't because of the genre. It was because of the book, should have just ended. It should have just been done.
Right.
And then I put Heartless, which is by the lady that wrote Cinder.
Okay.
This is her Alice in Wonderland retelling.
Okay.
I'm doing an Alice in Wonderland retelling right now by somebody else. And I love it. So Heartless is just one book. So instead of doing 3, I'll do 1 later on. I don't have the book I'm reading on my list on this. It wasn't on my list originally. I just found it.
Yeah.
But I think I would put it with this too. It's called Allison's Adventures in Underland. It's not Wonderland. Underland.
Yeah.
I think I just needed a retelling of Alice because I got so many Disney princesses.
Right.
And I have a Wizard of Oz one. I think I just needed an Alice one, and I found 4. So
I saw the Pinterest board for it. And look, I was like, I'm gonna have to see how that is.
It's a reverse harem. That's all I'm going to say on that. And if you don't know what that is, we have a whole episode about where we talk about genres. So maybe go watch that or Google it. And then for my extras, I put Percy Jackson 6 through 8 because when I was young, the first 5 came out. And now Percy Jackson has also grown up. He's going into college. But there's, he's still Percy Jackson. He's still a demigod. So it's kind of more adulty. And I'm more adulty now. So might as well just bring my childhood into my adulthood. And
that'll be interesting to see.
It's like a marriage.
Yeah.
And then I also put Wings of Starlight. As I just said, I got a bunch of Disney princesses. But this is Disney fairies. This is like Tinkerbell universe. So
love that.
I'm excited. The cover is beautiful. And again, like I've said 100 times in this episode, I base my reading off of covers. The cover is so pretty. Oh, it's so pretty.
I'm excited. Okay.
I need to know if it's good or not. And with that wraps up all of our TBR. We're going to get into the questions for our solo TBR. But overall, it sounds like we're going to have a very interesting reading year.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm so excited.
I am excited.
I don't think we put anything on here that's going to be like underwhelming.
Right.
Unless we were lied to.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree with that.
But I think we picked a lot of good books. So we're going to get into our solo TBR questions. What is your most common genre?
Are we surprised? It is romance and it is dark romance. And that is, that's me in a nutshell. What about you?
For me, what was really surprising was it wasn't fantasy.
Wait, really?
Exactly.
What?
It wasn't fantasy for me. It's romance this year. I think I just needed...
I'm shook.
Because Throne of Glass threw me out of a goddamn building with how bad it was. I'm so sorry for all of you Throne of Glass fans. It was so bad. Yep. It took me out. It brought me all the way down.
It caused the crash out.
It literally caused... We got to the 2 that you have to tandem read, and we were done.
I was like, I can't do this.
We were done. Those 2 are too fucking big to read together. I hate KL. I'm not doing it. I don't care. This is going to itch my brain for the rest of my life. I don't care. I don't care. And I'm saying this with my chest. I don't care. But they caused my crash out, and I think I needed to take a big step away from my fantasy and dystopian and sci-fi. And that's why most of the books that are fantasy or sci-fi on my list are books I already read.
That's true.
They're books I already fucking read because I don't trust you guys. Throne of Glass was a lie. And you know what? That was my own fault because I put that on our list. Because I read the first one and I only read the first one and it was so good. What the fuck was the rest of the series? Yeah. Assassin's Blade was good except the first part. The Pirate King part.
I just wish, honestly, Assassin's Blade, if I could go back, I would just read that first.
Yeah.
I feel like it doesn't make any sense where people are like, read it third, whatever it was.
No, read it first.
Stupid. Read it first.
But the way that she's saying that she was so in love with Sam, where?
When did that happen?
Where?
In what 20 pages did that happen?
Where? That was the smallest part that pissed us off.
Yeah.
That whole... Forget it. We're not even going to talk about it.
We could do a whole rant episode.
That series alone took my fantasy all the way the fuck out. I have so many fantasy books upstairs that I need to read, and I'm not touching them until I can physically fall in love back with fantasy. So this year, romance has taken my heart.
That's fair.
We will be doing that. I'm going to go into my dark romance era. So, Lights Out.
Yeah.
And Butcher and Blackbird.
Yeah.
You have my whole heart right now. And we're going to hope for the best. So, my most common genre was romance. And my most common author, which is crazy, is not romance, is Rick Riordan, who wrote the Percy Jackson series. He has 8 books. So.
Yeah. Mine was Sylvia Day. She's the lady who wrote the Crossfire series. If I was going off of like all of it, obviously I said Catherine Cowles like a bunch of times. Mm-hmm. But from my main list, Sylvia Day.
That's unfortunate.
Unfortunately.
Especially after you read the first one.
Yeah.
What are books you can't believe you haven't read yet?
So, I did put the Crossfire series because, as we know, that was on my list since 2023. It has been on there. So, I just never went to it.
Yeah.
Kind of wish I never did. And then I put the Au Pair Affair because that was one that I really wanted to read right before the crash out last year. Mm-hmm. And I liked Fangirl Down, so I was basically going to go right into it and just didn't. And then...
Like we just said, Throne of Glass just really took us all the way the fuck out.
Took it all the way out.
We weren't gonna name names, but now it's too late.
Yeah.
It took us all the way out.
We're making it known. And then the loser trios, because again, you know that I have had that one on my list since like 2023.
For me, I didn't really go with a bunch of books that have been on my list very, very long. I went on books that are hyped the fuck up, and I just can't believe I haven't read it because I'm easy to just I'm just gullible, okay? I'm just gullible. So I put Quicksilver. My problem with that book is just it's huge. Again, it's one of these like this big books. No, thank you. Butcher and Blackbird. It's in my alley. It's in my wheelhouse. Why the fuck haven't I read it yet? But we will. And then I put the Allie Hazelwood books. Those are books that I've had for fucking forever. And if I don't get to it, why do I have it? And I'm selling a bunch of my books. So they might just end up in that pile to sell if I just don't get into it. So it's on my list for I can't believe I haven't read it, but I will. I'm going to do it. I'm holding myself accountable this year. No crash out, accountability. What are books you worried won't live up to the hype?
So I picked the loser trio again because that's just been so overhyped. I picked True Colors because it's not my usual genre, but it has been hyped a lot. And then Au Pair Affair just because I'm afraid that it's going to be super repetitive. Granted, it has been a while since I've read Fangirl Down, so I'm hoping it doesn't feel that way. But I'm a little afraid about that.
I'm worried that the Book of Azrael won't live up to the hype. It's one of those TikTok books. I don't have much to say about it besides that. Quicksilver, again, it's humongous. And you guys keep recommending me these humongous books. And I'm worried that I'm just not going to like it. And then Sunrise on the Reaping. Haymitch deserves the entire world. I love Haymitch. He is maybe the best character besides PETA and Finnick in the Hunger Games universe. He deserves everything. So if I'm disappointed with this book like I was with the Ballads of Snakes and Songbirds or whatever it's called, I'm just going to be upset. Where did most of your books come from?
Most of mine were either recommendations or some I found on Facebook groups, some I found on Amazon. I kind of have like a variety of where I've found these books. So I'm hoping just because I found them in a variety of different places that they're all good and that I don't just like
don't crash out.
Don't
get so mad with TikTok again.
What about you?
Most of mine were TikTok suggestions. So like Book of Azrael, I've had it on my TBR. Even though I did see it on TikTok, I had it on my TBR already. Or I've had them on my bookshelf. Or I've just my suggestions on Kindle really be telling me a lot. So that's where most of mine came from. It came from Kendall just doing his damn thing. He's trying to get me to read all these hype books, so that's what I'm gonna do. What books have you had on your list the longest?
Mine were Crossfire, Magnolia Parks, and Catch the Sun, because I had that one on there for a while too.
Mine are the Stemma series by Allie Hazelwood, the Nothing More, Nothing Less, the Landon series, and then Heartless, the Alice in Wonderland retelling by Marissa Mayer.
Yeah.
I've had Marissa Mayer's books. I have the Cinder series, and then I have the Renegade series, and then I have Heartless and Gilded and Cursed, and I have a lot of her books, and she's just been on my list for so long. We read Cinder together last year, and that's going to be its own episode, but I love her. She is my favorite Mayer, okay? Sorry, Stephanie. She's my favorite Mayer, so I'm excited to read it, but I've had it on my list for so long. I do intend to read it. I'm just a little nervous.
Yeah.
What books do you keep going to and want to start?
So, Losers Trio, which I'm excited. I'm going to start that next month. So, we'll see how that goes. Magnolia Parks, because even though it's on my extra, I am excited, but they are long. So, I do have to be mentally prepared for those. And then, unfortunately, Crossfire was originally on that as well.
My 3 are lore. Like I said, I read the first chapter already, and it was super interesting, and the plot was really good. The Once Your Mind duology has just been on my KU forever, and I keep going back to start it. And it's not even long. I think one of them's like 200 and something pages, and one of them's like barely into the 300s. They're not long. I'm just worried. And then Heartless by Marissa Mayer. I love a retelling. I love a good retelling, and I think she's gonna hold me down So I'm trying to save her for like when I'm about to crash out.
Hmm.
But I don't think I'm gonna have one of those this year. So I might just read her after I finish this other Alice in Wonderland and get them all done at the same time. But
That's
it's
fair.
not on my TBR for next month, so we'll see. What is your shortest book?
So my shortest one, I have The Dare, which is the first one of the losers, is a novella, so it's 109 pages. So I did also say there's a duet that I want to read, and it's Pieces We Leave Behind, Pieces We Try to Forget. The second book, Pieces We Try to Forget, is 200 pages.
Okay. My shortest is Now You're Mine. Like I said, they're really not long.
Mm-hmm.
I might have gotten it mixed where Once You're Mine is 300 pages ish, and Now You're Mine is, I think, 240 pages.
Mm.
So they're not long.
Yeah.
I think I'm just worrisome. And then the other one is The Situationship. I think it's the novella of The Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez.
Okay.
So it's the smallest one.
Mm-hmm.
What is your longest book?
My longest one is the last book of the Magnolia Park series. It's
That's big.
720 pages.
Ooh,
Yeah.
ooh,
Which is why it did not make it on my
ooh,
main list because I did not want to put that pressure on myself.
ooh.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
Which is also why I want to spread those out for, like, I don't want to read those and, like, the Vampire Academy at the same time
Holy
because
shit.
I can't do that.
Holy shit. My
Mm-hmm.
two longest books is A Midnight Sun, the Stephanie Meyer book. For some reason, Edward's point of view is humongous. Is humongous. And then the other one is Quicksilver. Like I said, that thing is fucking huge. You guys play too much. Ooh. I didn't
Yeah.
write the quantities. I think I was overwhelmed, so I just skipped it. And
Yeah.
then my shortest series is the Landon series, the Nothing More, Nothing Less. It's 560 pages. And then on my extra list, it's Part of Your World, the Abby Jimenez series. It's about 1,200 pages, which
Mm.
is surprising for a 4-book series. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Not too daunting.
Yeah, mine was the Pieces We Try to Forget because the first, like I said, the second one's like 200 pages and I think the first one was not much bigger. So between that duet, it's not that many pages. And then my longest series, Magnolia Parks, because not the last book isn't the only hefty one.
That's
So there's
really
the last
scary.
3 are like hefty.
Lee.
So I'm scared.
My longest one is the Twilight series, and
Mm.
where Vampire
Mm-hmm.
Academy is also 3,000 pages. Twilight is 3,000 pages.
Yeah. Yeah.
The movies are so good, and my fear is that because I tried this with Harry Potter too. I love the Harry Potter movies. My fear is I'm gonna hate the books because I don't like the Harry Potter books that much. Scary, crazy, I know.
Yeah.
And I did
Hmm.
the same thing with Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, remember? I hated those.
Yes.
I love those entirely. I will never read those again. And then my other long one is Percy Jackson, obviously. Now there's 8 books. I only put 1 through 5. They're about 2,000 pages, 1 through 5. And
Mm.
that's if I do the physical, and I didn't do the physical. I read them on my phone. Every book
Yeah.
is like 1,000 pages on Apple. So, what are you most excited for?
I'm most excited to read All the Missing Pieces because it is like the first book that I'm reading by that author.
Mhm.
So I'm excited. I hope I love it. Spoiler alert, I already started it and I liked it. So I mean, yeah, I think that I'm excited most to try her out, find a new author.
I'm the most excited for, which shouldn't be surprising for anyone if you watched all of our episodes for Percy Jackson 6, 7, and 8. Shouldn't be surprised.
Mhm.
That's my whole childhood. I want to name my children after some of the gods. So that shouldn't be surprising to anybody. And then the other one is Butcher and Blackbird. Like I've said, it's literally an alley
Mm,
up into my genre. Like
yeah.
that's my favorite romance genre. And even though I talk shit about it, it's my favorite.
Mhm.
I'm so excited. And then, what are you anticipating the most?
So my most anticipated was this bad boy right
You
here.
were itching.
I was itching. I was really excited to read it, and I'm glad that it lived up to the hype. I am very happy with that book. So
Mine is Heartless. I can't talking about how
Yes.
much I want to read Heartless. I am so excited, but I am. And then the other one was Wings of Starlight. The cover alone, the fairy is so cute.
Mm,
And I love Tinkerbell. If I love the Never King, obviously I love Tinkerbell.
right.
And then my most skeptical books are the Twilight series because, like I just said, if
Yeah.
it doesn't live up to the book, to the
Tough.
movie, I'm gonna be disappointed. And then Sunrise of on the Reaping, like I said, Haymitch deserves the universe.
Right.
He deserves it all. And obviously, we know that this one's gonna traumatize me, so I'm skeptical. I'm skeptical that it's not gonna traumatize me the way it's supposed to.
Yeah.
What are you the most skeptical to read?
Mine was True Colors, just because it's not a genre I love. It's not a genre I normally read. So I'm a creature of habit, and I'm a little afraid that I'm not going to love it just because it's not my cup of tea.
Oh no.
So we'll see.
Well, that's everything on today's episode. Next episode is going to be our March wrap up. It will be out the week after this one. Hopefully you guys had dropped some comments on our first episode so that way we have some questions, to include into our March wrap up.
Mm-hmm.
But our fourth episode that you can enter questions down below for after this episode is the March author of the month, and it will be featuring Pittacus Lore for me and
Jennifer Hartman for me.
And if you have any questions, mine will be based off of the I Am Number 4 series, and the series alone, not the novellas, not the Generation 1 series or anything like that. And for Jennifer Hartman,
she has a bunch of different books that I've read from her. So I think I'm at 5 total now that I've read of hers. So we'll just kind of dive into those and other ones that I still want to read by her.
Well, that is everything for today. We're Book Bliss and Chicks, and I'm Ashley.
I'm Courtney.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.